La la la.
Sourced and bottled in majestic mountains, liquid Death Mountain water will murder your thirst.
Now I'll pour it liquid death.
Check, check. There we go. I set my RTX voice to a different input by accident the other day and forgot to change it back. Brush my hair.
No, you didn't. Come here. Wait, let me just fix the front. Look at me. Just take a little while. Ugh. Goodness.
A wild developer appears. All right.
Can't trust you to groom yourself.
Well, today I have coffee and vitamins. Yeah.
Today I have coffee and Claritin. I'm gonna be so jacked up for the whole rest of the day because I just popped a Claritin, a 24-hour Claritin.
So my sister showed me these. I'm not fully vegan, but they taste like oranges and they have a ton of B12 and vitamin D. And since I never go outside, maybe it'll make me not die and I can finish Doomtrooper.
Yeah, when I first met Justin, he told me that he had been prescribed vitamin D pills, and I laughed at him and made fun of him because I was super tan and I was from South Florida and I used to go to the beach all the time. But now that I've been out here a decade and it's like cold at the beach often out here, yeah, I need vitamin D pills now also. So thanks for, you've like infected me with paleness.
Yeah, well. Also, you'll notice we have a new camera angle.
I'm not sure how I feel about this yet.
This is, yeah.
You can see more of the room, which means that we're gonna have to do, because of the mirror, more of a better job of like hiding all shame and making sure everything looks clean. But now we can't see the Doomtrooper photo above our head.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Where's dog cam?
I don't know.
Look, he laid right in the camera. He knows.
He doesn't know, and that's why he laid in that spot.
Yeah, he knows. So here we are.
Cover up the beanbag. We always like go through this like these moments of like, wow, we're like almost 40 and we have a beanbag in our room, but it's really comfy. It's really comfy, and it's incredibly expensive. We didn't buy it, Justin's last company did, but yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah, my turning off of the dog cam button doesn't work anymore.
So he's here forever, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. That makes sense. We're apparently using OBS loaded the wrong profile. Hang on, let's try this again. Yep. Alright, cool. Good to know.
If I don't do like my makeup or don't feel good, I can just like hang out right here in future screens. Hey.
Yeah, thanks, Sin. I think it works better for my programming streams because it's like a profile shot as opposed to like this shot the whole time.
The whole time. It's only when you adjust yourself. Like every time you get rated, you're like, oh my god, hi everybody.
Yeah, this is not a good angle. Then I also realized that
Oh, whoa, what are you doing? What's going on here?
I could do this angle which is very much the hi, I'm a girl on Twitch or other websites angle that they all use.
For
this,
boobies.
yeah.
Right?
This is the how to get views angle. It kind of, highlights my best qualities.
Oh my god, your stupid shoes are on the beanbag.
Oh yeah, you weren't supposed to see those.
I hate them so much. Oh, there we go.
But you are supposed to see my shirt. You guys see this bitchin' shirt? I wore it specifically for you. This is a limited edition punk rock Magic the Gathering shirt.
Oh, what? We were at a convention when you spotted that.
Yeah, it's from Riot Fest, which is a punk in Chicago.
Which would have happened this very weekend, actually. But, nothing's happening this
Now
weekend.
you can see the Doomtrooper.
Yeah, man. Riot Fest was fucking awesome.
But yeah, this is the MySpace angle. I kind of want to get multiple webcams, and then I can like switch between them, but yeah.
Oh, and we're back.
This one seems to be the most social.
The angle.
Oops.
Oh,
I broke it.
gotta get the angles.
If only my boobies got views. Sorry, Buck. You got to get the angle right. So I have a monitor here, and then another monitor up here, and you put the camera on top of the second monitor, so it's stacked. And then people can see that you're stacked.
Thank you. I was like, there's a joke in there about boobies.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god.
Also, we are listening to the new Doomtrooper soundtrack. It is subtly different, but this will be added in tomorrow. Well, most of it will be. Well, we might actually be listening to the Don't Go Out soundtrack as well. They're both cycling through, but we
Don't
got...
Go Out soundtrack is lit, though.
Yeah. We got a couple new tracks updated due to some confusion we had. I mean,
That's putting it polite. Well, it might be that.
At this point, I guess I can tell the gist of it. So a couple of you guys have uploaded your YouTube videos to show me bugs and stuff, or just to upload Doomtrooper videos, and you've gotten a copyright strike. So it turns out what happened is our composer, who is a good dude, accidentally mixed some files together, and he sold us the music he made for Doomtrooper, but then some of those files got into another folder by accident, and he sold like a batch of music that he made that was like dark toned to a guy to license to television. And the Doomtrooper stuff should not have been in that batch, but it got mislabeled or something. So that guy was really cool, and he gave us back one of the songs. But then we both realized that it wasn't just one song; it was a handful of songs.
I thought it was all of them.
No, it wasn't. So he didn't want to give me for free all of the music that he also paid for. So it was a little weird. So we ended up keeping the main menu music, and I think there's another file. There's the main music file, and it might be like the main in-game file, and then the rest of the music we recreated. He did for no charge to make up for the mistake.
Yeah.
So we will be putting that music in and making sure that the confusion doesn't happen again, so that we have our songs able to go live on Twitch and YouTube, and there isn't any confusion on who owns the rights. Because I went through a lot of trouble when I made the music originally to make sure that we own the rights, because I wanted to use it on Twitch and I wanted to use it on YouTube. And when this started happening,
so that we wouldn't get like our VODs,
So when this started happening, I was like, shit, what's going on? It's got to be confusion, because I know I dotted my I's. And turns out there was confusion. So
old confusion sneaking back in.
yeah, we should be in better shape now. And I'll be able to put the rest of the music into the game.
So many things go into making a game, you guys. Things you never even think about that really come up as issues.
Yeah, it should be nice. But like I said, the other composer was super cool. He was trying to work with us because he was just as confused as we were, because we both paid for this music. And then the actual composer, was very apologetic, and he immediately jumped out and said, like, I want to make this right. Like, whatever you want. You want a refund, I'll give you a refund. You want me to fix the music, I'll fix the music, like, whatever. And honestly, I mean, some of you guys think that the music should be more metal, and we are working on metal tracks for events and stuff, but a lot of you also like the ambient music. So I don't think the metal people are wrong.
No. Obviously, I think the art lends itself to.
But I think they're kind of wrong. So bear with me.
Before you even say anything, I don't know that I would want to listen to metal while I'm playing. It's just too much.
Right. So
it's just too much.
Julie's touching on it. Like,
yeah.
If you're playing a strategic card game that's super high stress and you're hoping that you win and it's going to come down to just like one move, I think more often than not, you'd want music that blends into the background as opposed to music that is vying for your attention.
That's a good way to put it.
That's why the music in Doomtrooper is more ambient. It's creepy. It's creepy ambience is what we were going for, because it's really easy for that music to just be in the background and you kind of forget it's there. But if it's silent, you'll be like, well, where's the music? And if it's driving, there's a good number of players that might turn it off because they want to not be distracted or whatnot. Yeah, Steve nailed it too. I believe strongly that hi Steve, ambient is better for something that you hear all the time. So the truth is we have 16 minutes of music right now. The average game takes about 20 minutes. So even if we were to put all of the music into the game, you would hear every track, every game. So if you play all day, do you really want something with a hook that it's going to just keep driving into your brain, or do you want something that blends into the background? So that's the general idea. But I am talking to John, who did the Don't Go Out soundtrack that is sometimes being played.
A lot of people really like that. And also, can you lift this up because it's driving me crazy?
Can you move a little that way? Because I'm off camera and you are oozing in on me.
Oozing in on you?
Yeah. So John is working on 2 tracks for us that will be more, let's call it 16-bit metal. So they will be similar to what you would hear, and I hate to say this word, similar to what you would hear in the vintage Doom games. So like very driving, very devil horns, very whatever, but like, dun, 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 but kind of pixelated. So we're going to work on that and use that for like special events and special game modes and stuff like that. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, since talking about watched a video on demand of a vocalist doing a track-by-track commentary of their last album, and the VOD is like 50% muted. That is pretty funny.
Yeah. We don't...
Hair metal is never wrong. We don't think so either, totally. I mean, really, but it's just a lot for a game, I think.
I think it's...
Hi, Brian!
Oh, Brian's here. Hey, Brian. It's really funny to me that even when I tried to make sure I own the rights, or the guy doing the track-by-track commentary, like, here's my rant for the week, basically.
Is it just one?
It's just
short?
It might be more, but here's my first rant for the week. So, I have talked about this before, but I cannot stand that a little company like mine will go under because I have a bug of the support cards rendering off the screen, right? But AT&T's entire network can go out for 3 days and they still pay a $16 million bonus to their CEO. Like, if we were... I made this story the other day. In my neighborhood, in the United States legally, most blocks only have 2 providers for internet. You have one phone line provider and one cable provider.
Yeah, it sucks.
And that's like an old 1800s telecom law, because if you run the lines on the block, no one else can compete with you because you dug the holes. My block is AT&T and Spectrum cable. So last time I checked, Spectrum cable's minimum plan, smallest plan, was 200 megs. But I forgot to bid. Hold on.
I was watching that go.
You should have said something.
6 minutes ago, I was like, oh, wow, that's almost over. He has eBay open up, you guys.
Yeah,
He's double dipping.
One of you guys probably beat me for the Golgotha promo on eBay that just ended. So congrats whoever got that.
God.
But anyways, 200 megabytes download speed from Spectrum is their minimum, and the maximum that AT&T offered is 8 megabytes. 8 versus 200, and the price was very similar. So the question is if I pivoted Secret Cow Level to be a cable provider and I wanted to be an internet provider, and I said, all right, you have Spectrum, you pay $100 a month. I will give you have 200 megs now for $100 a month. I will give you 8 megs speed for $100 a month. How's that deal? You guys will give me the finger, and my company will go bankrupt tomorrow. Because why would you pay me the same amount you pay for 1/10 of the speed? You wouldn't. But AT&T can do that every day. They can shit on us as customers. They can not put any money in their infrastructure, and they get to be a multi-million, billion-dollar conglomerate. And it is not fair. So how this relates is we have this is also a great analogy for politics, but we have Universal Music Group and we have Warner Brothers Music Group, right? And we also, on one hand of the spectrum, and on the other end of the spectrum, we have Spotify, we have YouTube, we have Twitch, we have people like me who are streaming with music.
We're losing chat.
They could spend time just figuring out how to evolve into the era of YouTube and streaming and working with people and doing licensing. But instead, they don't want to spend any money, so they just hire an agency that does machine learning to listen for their music and automatically issue copyright strikes without a human's involvement. And that just pisses us off as customers. It doesn't make us happy to buy Universal Music Group or Warner Brothers records. It makes us say, like, what the hell? The vocalist doing a track-by-track commentary of their own album is not going to look at their label fondly when the label's AI bot hurts their bottom line. It's not fair. So why don't more big companies take a little bit of their money and evolve to be in the year 2020 and make people love them as companies versus squeezing out a few extra dollars from their, not only their fans, but their vocalists, their artists are getting screwed. Like, why does that happen? It's not right. And it's not fair that they get to make all of this money and companies like mine have to struggle just to make enough money to keep our servers on. So, yeah. It's not fair. And the bottom line is that I appreciate people who support companies like Secret Cow Level, because it's not easy for us.
He's not happy that I picked him up.
Yeah. Like, the analogy for Secret Cow Level here would be probably Blizzard or Magic. Like, I love Hearthstone. I think Blizzard is pretty cool. I think Magic is a great game. But they could literally shit in a box and put it out on the shelf and we'd buy their packs. Like, or we would just skip that expansion and we would wait for the next one and then we would buy that. They wouldn't go out of business. But if I shit in a box and give it to you guys, hell, I can polish the shit out of my turds and give it to you and I'll still fail. Because I'm a small company. And you really get to see like the other side of capitalism and how difficult it is just to break, not even into the big leagues, but just to break above like the glass ceiling per se that you have as a small company or an indie company or whatever it is. Like, just to get over that hump where the machine pays for itself, a couple $100 a month even, is damn near impossible. But with a lot of work and a lot of effort and support from people who care about what you're doing, I think it's doable. So, yeah.
Okay, rant one for the week.
So it's funny. So the night before and the morning before, the morning before we chat, Julie's always like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. And then during it, when it gets silent, she goes, I don't have anything to say. But when I start to pick a topic and talk about it, she's like,
because you don't pause. You go for
right, go ahead.
Straight, and I just watch everything.
All right, Julie, you're up.
Phase. Yeah. So somebody asked, is it possible to create a custom game with programming where I can set different situations in the game? We get back here by editing the cards and test and learn to play or find out what does not work.
Yes, it's possible for me to do that, but not the users necessarily. Oh, I know you could see me, Steve. I would be open to
Big ass
making.
mirror.
I would be open. I'm going to call you Taj. I would be open to making that kind of mode if somebody designed it. Like, the only reason I don't have that kind of mode really, or at least a little bit of that mode, is that like I don't know what would be useful to people. Like right now, I can trigger it through debug commands, and I can create like a custom game that I can test. The only thing I can't do is customize the AI, really. That'll be coming later this year, but for development. But we could make an interface where there's like a special practice mode where you could say, change these rules, use these cards, make the AI use this deck, and go. But I don't know clearly what would be useful to you guys to make that mode, so...
Hey, our trailer has a good mix between ambient and metal.
No, that's just our music.
Is that part of the music that got fudged?
I think that one's fine. I think
Because that's pretty cool. We have a more metal than the other music for the trailer. And when we're at conventions, we have this big TV behind us, and it's just like blasting metal. I think the last convention we did, the person behind us, who we're friends with and we're cool with, but they were like, "Can you please turn this down?" Because it was just like blasting metal all day long.
I wonder how much of a dick move it is, but I wonder if... Yeah, it's still here.
He is just peeking over this shit on eBay.
Do you guys think if I put up a GoFundMe for $600 to purchase a bunch of Dark Eden cards, do you think you guys
Michael.
would contribute?
But you...
Because there are some, and fine, if you guys want to buy them and keep them from me, go for it. But there are some Dark Eden cards available. It's like the first time that I've seen them on eBay. But the guy wants almost $600 for them.
Is the C Canadian? It says
Yeah,
C
it's
$sign. So
I really want to get some Dark Eden cards because if things go well, I want to make Dark Eden into a digital game as well.
Attic Space Games. It's funny. You obviously done a lot of conventions, so you know what it's like when you hear something 100 times in one day. Yes. Why is Dark Eden so rare? Is it just one of the later ones to get released?
Yeah, it was the last. It was one of the last CCGs in like the wave of CCGs, and by the time it came out, especially in America, no one cared.
Wait, so this is not Doomtrooper? I thought this was it's a different game.
But it takes place in Mutant Chronicles universe.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought Dark Eden was
Yeah, like you said, Steve. I think that's a good. Like, if we got the cards and we got the complete set, we could scan them. We could put them up online. We could like contribute to give back to people if it would help. But
would you get in trouble?
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't even know who owns this. Do they care? Are they?
Fred owns this.
Oh, right. It's Mutant Chronicles. Sorry. Would Fred care?
Yeah. I just honestly have put all of my money into Doomtrooper, and I have to be careful, and I don't have $500 extra to spend on cards right now.
Justin tried to offer them a lower amount, and they did not respond.
Yeah,
They're fucking serious about their asking price.
It's the dumbest thing about eBay. Here's my mini rant.
Oh, yep.
eBay's like, I want $700 for these, but you can make me an offer. And you're like, cool, here's an offer. And it's immediately rejected. It never even gets to the seller. And you're like,
wait, is that true?
That he hasn't seen any of my offers. So you basically say, I want $700, but I'll take the best offer, but it has to be more than $698. So having the make offer button is stupid because he probably set such a high bar for his offers to be auto rejected. My friend Josh Sawyer, he's the designer of Fallout New Vegas and all those Obsidian games. He's like the lead designer at Obsidian. He posted something where he was trying to buy like a gear for his bicycle, and it was like, buy it now, $17.32. And he made an offer of like $17.31, and it was auto rejected. And he's like, eBay in a nutshell.
Do you have to have the make offer?
No.
Oh, so you don't. It's okay.
No. So his make offer is probably like $50 below his asking price. It's really dumb.
Right.
So I don't know. Oh well. So it looks like that's a no on the Dark Eden cards. Nobody wants us to port Dark Eden. Okay. I tried.
Were you pulling up the video a second ago?
What video?
I don't know. I thought you were pulling up the trailer for some reason.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Right.
To showcase the more metal music. No? Okay.
Let's see. I think I've confused my my stream deck.
Uh-oh.
Well, you want me to stop ranting?
These
So
don't go out, right?
I don't know. Nope.
It's not.
This is Doomtrooper 6.
Number 6. Seen this one in a minute.
I always want to call Makui Ratatouille.
How's the air quality today? It's better. I am having really bad allergies because of all this smoke, and it's not even that bad here. Like, it barely smells like smoke, but the whole sky is just like overcast. And it's weird. Whenever there's smoke in the air, it like, you've seen these pictures where it's like really orange. We don't have that. It's not that bad here. But it's still the smoke in between the sun, like it casts this weird orange glow and everything. So when you go outside, it kind of looks like somebody turned like the Philips Hue light to like warm. It's really weird. So you'll walk outside and you're just like, why is everything a little bit more orange than it should be? Yeah, my allergies were better yesterday, and then I woke up today and they're a lot worse, hence the pop in the Claritin. Yeah. I don't know. The whole side of our country, the whole west side is burning. It's just so dry here. I thought it wouldn't be as bad for places like Northern California and Oregon and Washington, but apparently not. Apparently it's awful for them too. Oh, speaking of, I don't know if you're still hanging around, Brian, but hopefully you guys are okay. And you're not being affected by the fires in Oregon. Boom.
Yeah, so I figured I would show a little more of the progress for people who don't come to the programming streams. So the new deck builder here has sorting, which is nice. So you can sort by name, you can sort by faction, you can sort by date, and you can descend it or ascend it, which is something that people have been requesting forever on our list. And then when you're in the deck, you can sort by name, by type, by affiliation, and you can also go up or down, depending on how you want to see it. So we'll be expanding that, based on feedback and stuff, but sorting was a big request that people had wanted. And then I think people saw this last week, but we're starting to populate the deck details. So
good night, Dizo. Thanks for joining.
I don't think I knew Dizo had kids.
Yeah, he has Spawn. Okay, not kids.
Yeah. So being able to import and export your deck will be in here. All of your deck stats UI will be here, and then stuff like deleting your deck and publishing your deck to the public browser and various like high-level statistics and stuff will be shown here. And obviously we can expand this as much as we want to have more options for the decks. But I think I talked about it before. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But you'll be able to come in here and you'll be able to mark your deck as public. And then after you do that, if someone clicks Get New Decks, this page will show all of the public decks in a table, and you'll be able to click a button and import a deck, basically net deck, from within the client. And I don't think it'll be in the first version, but you'll also be able to rate the decks if you like them, or thumbs up, thumbs down. So we can say, like, show me the highest rated decks, which obviously will just be Thorgal. He will have the top 10 of the highest rated decks because that's how he rolls. But he'll also have the first few public decks because he's been nice enough to make decks and let us
That's cool.
publicize them. And then the filter, I know people have seen this before, but you can search by keyword now. So you can say like Slayer. You can just see all the cards that have Slayer. You can, other changes is you can say, let me get out of here. You can say, you can actually turn off all cards if you want. And you can say include unobtained cards. So now you're only looking at cards you don't have, which is kind of nice. Uh-oh.
Call for backup.
Steve, what happened?
What's going on?
We get stats on that on RN2. Is there a way to flag accounts of X amount of uploads to get a title? Yeah, absolutely. I always tie the owner of a database field back to their user account. So the deck templates, when you import them, will keep track of the template they came from. So if say you import Thorgal's Cartel deck, it will be your deck and you can do whatever you want with it, but it'll say like original source and it'll link back to his template. And then the template will be linked to him as an author. So we'll be able to tie all the data together.
Sin, you talked about, my wife heard fireworks go off yesterday. This is in the San Francisco area. Who the hell does that when everything burns? Everything being so smoky you don't even see it, but just to add to it. After everything that happened with the protests and fireworks were going off all the time, I'm just convinced it's just people fucking with everyone else.
I mean...
Or it's the police, I don't know.
Yeah, but... Sin, I think... Hey, Thorgal laughed.
Yeah.
Hi, Thorgal. I think what it comes down to, and I see this like every day in my life, Sin, is everybody, to an extent, a little bit, even me, definitely Julie, and all of you guys, will at some instance...
holding my breath to find out what I do.
At some instance in your day, your week, your month, your life, you will know that something you're about to do is wrong. But you will tell yourself, but it's okay if I do it, or nothing bad will happen to me when I do it. Like, think about all the people who OD on like fentanyl and stuff. Like, they tell themselves, I'm more careful than that guy. So when I take it, I will survive.
Where are you going with this?
Well, you're wondering, why do people, when there's smoke and fire and flammable stuff, why do they light fireworks? Well, because they want to, and they think, well, I'm more careful than that last guy who caught someone on fire, or, I don't. And then
I don't even think it's that, though. I think you're just trying to be like malicious in the.
There's also the bottom line is like, I think it's funny to be a dick. Like that happens too.
I think it's just that.
But like more so, like how do these forest fires start? Well, a person who's out camping, who's really good at camping, and he does it all the time, thinks that sign over there that says don't use a fire because everything is dry doesn't apply to me because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, we totes lit a fire when we went camping.
Yeah. So
I'm to heat up our chili somehow.
I'm gonna light a fire anyway because I know what I'm doing, and I won't catch the forest on fire because the bad things won't happen to me because I'm special. It's kind of like a sociopathic.
Get COVID.
I don't know if it's sociopathic or psychopathic, but one of them, I think it's sociopathic, is where you always just assume that good things will happen to you and things will work out, is a behavior of sociopaths, I believe. And we all have that a little bit. It's like, it's okay for me not to put my seatbelt on this time, or it's okay for me to change lanes without signaling. It's okay for me to speed on this little stretch. I know how to drive on ice, so I'll drive the normal speed here.
I don't know how to drive on ice.
Right.
I've never done it in my whole life.
Her parents and my parents I've lived through many hurricanes, so I'll just maybe board my windows up, maybe not. I'll just chill, because the last 30 didn't kill me. Why would this one kill me? And then when one of our parents is sucked up by a hurricane, we'll be like, well,
To be fair, both of my parents have freaking shutters on all of their shit. I
Hey,
don't know about your
my
dad.
dad boarded his windows.
But yeah, when it's a house, it's a whole nother deal. But my parents live in condos and just go, and they're in little fortresses. I did try to convince them. There was a hurricane, a Category 5 a couple years back, and I was like, you guys should really consider leaving. And they were both just like, nah. They're divorced. They were just like, nah, we ain't doing that.
Also, funny story. I don't know if he's in here. His name is Opsy, O-P-S-E. O-P-S-E Lilith, I believe. I've been talking to him a lot. He's been trying to help out with Doomtrooper because he's super passionate. And I don't think I told this story, and if I did, some of you maybe didn't hear it.
I don't remember. I've
but
never
he
heard
joined,
this person's name before.
So you know the story though. He joined Discord. He was like, "Oh my god, like Doomtrooper! I love Doomtrooper. I played it years ago. This is great. Can I give you some feedback?" And I was like, "Of course, give me feedback." And he was like, "Well, to start off, the game is borderline unplayable." And I was like, "What?" And then a bunch of other stuff, and he clarified what he meant. But the funny part is 4 or 5 hours later, he's like, "I'm gonna go to bed." And then an hour after that, he's like, "Okay, I'll play one more game." And I messaged him and I was like, quote, "Borderline unplayable, huh?" And he just said, he laughed and he said, "Don't use my words against me." So it's something to think about, like when people come in and they're like, "I don't like the look of the cards. This sucks." Or there's a bug that renders something off screen, or the text is too long and I can't read it all. Yeah, it's early access, it's beta, we're working on it.
Yeah,
But-
there's definitely UI elements that need
But
help.
the same people who say that, if they just stick around and play the game a little bit, they're like, "This is really fun."
One of your favorite Facebook comments, I can't remember, he like complained about like this general look that the game has, and I responded with a Big Lebowski gif of like, "That's just your opinion, man." He was like, "No, it's not," and he just like went off.
People have a really hard time. I mean, I have a hard time with these words, but people have a hard time realizing that their subjective opinion is not an objective opinion. And I'm trying hard to use those two words in my daily use so that I don't fuck them up. But like, everybody thinks, like Mobius is one of our best players, and I love him. He reports more bugs than anybody else, and I'm sure he watches these streams. So hey, but he sent me a message the other day about how this avatar, the bottom here, is objectively ugly, and he sent me proof. This card back here as well.
Card bags, I think they're so pretty.
So he sent me proof that the color choice that we chose is associated with a thing that everyone thinks is ugly. And like the proof he sent back to me, I actually responded like, "I like that, and I would wear that proof that it's ugly on a shirt. Like I would wear a shirt that color." It was like a purplish, glitchy, like VHS glitch type thing.
Yeah, it's
And-
one of my faves too. That's so funny because like my when I was in art classes in high school, I used to make a lot of things with leaves, and my friend Pablo would always fucking laugh at me, and he's like, "Julie equals leaves." So like, I automatically am drawn to these two because I love that kind of stuff.
So I just think
Weird, yeah.
I just think it's important to
weird.
realize that like I have a bright pink sweater that I love to wear. And
It's been a minute.
yeah, most men, especially the ones in here that listen to metal, not all of them, there's a subset, but you probably would never be caught dead in a bright hot pink sweater.
It's pretty pink.
But like, I love it, and I think it's cool. So it's like, there's so much going on in our brains that we have to always remember that what we love, someone else will always hate or like or dislike, or there's a whole spectrum, you know? And what we hate, someone else might like or love, or it might be the thing that the hill they choose to die on. Like we think that, I mean, just think about all the U.S. politics.
Oh no, let's not.
No, I'm just like, for all the things that I hate about Donald Trump, there are maybe some people watching this that
to our dumpster.
that love him. So just knowing that there's a man out there who's exactly my age who loves Donald Trump is enough for me to realize that there is a spectrum of people. So it's important to remember.
Will you hold this up? This is my favorite thing that Justin got me. He's on dumpster fire, which is one of my favorite ways to describe like a bad situation. I love saying it's a dumpster fire. And this is the 2020 edition. It comes with his little own face mask that you can take off. I freaking love this thing. I think I have another. Did you get me a light too?
Yeah, we ordered the same thing without the mask, but it's a nightlight. Like it glows.
Smile. Where's the camera? Little smile. He's cute.
Also, I think Sinspitter would wear my pink.
Oh yeah.
My pink sweater.
For sure. Yeah, it's cute.
Because we can make girly colors look good on them. That's what I'm
It
saying.
takes a level of
We can-
purity in your mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a secure man, I think we can make hot pink a manly color.
I don't think it has to be. Personally, I'm a big fan of people not knowing like my sexuality. Like, there's days where I totally dress super butch, and I'm like, is she or isn't she? Haha. You won't know.
Oh, by the way, okay, so it was main menu and matchmaking were the original tracks that we still own. I think main menu never went to the other composer, and that's why I think that's the one that we use in the trailer. And then matchmaking, he was polite enough to give back to us, no charge.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
As an update too, so I'm still running development inside Windows using WSL2. So for any of the nerds out there, I am running a command line, a Linux command line inside Windows, which is as nerdy as I need to get. And I am now able to develop all of Doomtrooper inside Windows, which is nice because I get access to all my monitors and, more importantly, all my RAM. I still love Solus Linux and I still use it, but I've been trying this to speed up so I could use the multiple monitors and all the RAM. And I realized as a side effect, I'm running the Doomtrooper server inside Linux inside Windows, and then I'm running Doomtrooper inside Linux inside Windows, and then I can run the Steam version inside Windows side by side, point them both at my local server, and I can test multiplayer. And that was trickier to do on the Linux side because I'd have to run two instances in the same OS. But this technically registers two separate instances since one's technically in Linux and one's in Windows. And I've been able to use that to track down timers, interrupts, and disconnect bugs that happen in multiplayer that you guys have been reporting. I want to say much faster. It was about 17 hours of work collectively between last weekend and this weekend. But I have twice now fixed and rewritten timers and interrupts, and I think I solved all of the problems that people have been seeing with the game. Under certain edge cases, you could get stuck in the combat UI. And it often involved a disconnect.
This whole thing.
Yeah, you would disconnect from the game and one of the timers wouldn't stop. Like, I don't think this is quite what was happening, but to explain it, imagine if...
I heard this all day yesterday, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna use this moment to take a bathroom break.
Imagine if you're in a game and you're inside an interrupt where you're supposed to respond and your internet goes out. And then while your internet is out, you're still in the interrupt, it tries to end your turn. Not end your interrupt, but end your whole turn because the timer kept going. So imagine if you were in an instance where you see the UI for the interrupt, but the game has ended your turn, but you're not even connected. So then you come back and it reconnects you and it's like, oh, he's in an interrupt. So it loads you into the interrupt, but now the game thinks it's your opponent's turn and the timer stopped running again. And then it just, yeah. The guy who wrote the timers code did not see it all the way through and he did not test the edge cases. And I am discovering a list of places where the timers don't stop correctly or plenty of other problems that happen. So I think maybe this time I got them all. I mean, it doesn't seem to be any of the freeze up mistakes in my logs overnight, but I'll wait a couple of days to see if you guys find them again. So that's fun. Did you wash your hands?
Yeah, it did. Sure. It took him about 5 minutes to explain that, but that was actually, oh my god, I don't know, 6 hours of work yesterday?
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
I'm also going to do a pass maybe tomorrow on text on a lot of cards. Like I'm gonna go down the whole spreadsheet and do my own update.
What do you mean? Trying to make
Well, so look
cut
at
down
the
text?
look at Big Bob Watts here. Unique free marine. And what's the next word?
Free Marine.
Yeah. Why is nobody
that doesn't need to
why
be
has
there.
nobody else found that and fixed it? Like so many people have access to this data.
So I also asked a stupid question last week. I was like, I don't understand why you can't fix the text. It seems like a really easy thing. And I was like, why can't we just scroll? And he's like, yo, you can't scroll on mobile and tablet. And I was like, shit, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So basically, the next step is to make all of these little paragraphs a little more succinct.
Yeah, so like this play has 2 actions. This one, play has 2 action. How about just 2 action?
Like a little
Let's
symbol
get rid of
for it.
No.
Oh, just take out the words play
Do
as.
you have a budget for an artist to make this simple? So just get rid of the words play as. You gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. So all of a sudden, all the text moves up 8.
Yeah, you require features you get.
This one's really hard. If Cartel Grunt and Cartel Soldier exist in the same squad, they become Cartel Special Forces. It fits, but I have tried to make that card smaller. And then my favorite one is this
It could
one.
just be the 2 cards. Card 1 plus card 2 equals.
That might not be clear though. Play at any time. An enormous ravine stretches before the combatants, cutting off all contact. Only shoot combats may be made until the beginning of your next turn. This instantly, I don't know what the rest says. How about play at any time. A shoot combat is immediately ended. Only shoot combats may be made until the beginning of your next turn. And that's it. It would probably fit. Also,
It's gonna be like
I'm not-
Twitter all over again when we had to keep things to 140 characters. I was in marketing at that time, and it was always so tough. It's gonna be just like that.
Also, I'm not going to get to it today or tomorrow, but where it says play at any time, I'm going to go through and I'm going to remove all of those from the text. And I'm going to make that sentence generated by code. So if the card says play during combat true, play during interrupt false, play during your turn false, I will add the text playable during combat. And if it's all of them, I will say something like play at any time. And if it's only play during interrupt true and the other 2 are false, I will say play in response to. Or, we'll come up with consistent wording that gets added to this card automatically. That way there is significantly less confusion and less room for error for the design of the card and the actual wording of the card, which will be nice.
Yeah, switching and with the ampersand was always like, I did that all the time, and it was 140 characters. But yeah, it used to be tough. And I remember being so bitter when they switched Twitter from 140 to whatever it is now. I don't even know what it is now because it doesn't hinder me anymore.
240, I think.
Yeah, but like,
Also,
I almost never get hindered, but yeah.
if you guys have any idea, like what Julie was saying is right, coming up with an icon for destiny, victory, and actions is definitely something that's beneficial for us.
Even if I think it was an icon that was just a capital A, a capital V, I think that could work too.
Yeah, Steve's onto something, a new keyword called combo for Cartel Special Forces. That could work. And then, because the nice thing about keywords is the text, oh, you can't see that. Shit. You can see that. The box that pops up next to the card.
Oh.
So if we just made a combo keyword for Cartel Special Forces, we could say combo Cartel Grunt plus Cartel Soldier. And that would be it. Right. But then next to it, it would explain what combo means. Combo, if these cards are in the squad together, something happens. And that frees it up a lot. So obviously Steve and I are going to be going through this, and hopefully our friend Hunter, who has volunteered to do the wording, we had an appointment set to set everything up, and he had a doctor's appointment pop up that he had to do instead, and neither of us have rescheduled. So Hunter, if you're hearing this, sup,
bro.
But we're finally getting to the point, like I was telling Julie, I say this all the time and then shit hits the fan. But usually when the shit hits the fan, it's parts of the code that I'm not familiar with that somebody else wrote, and I have to go through and solve bugs there. I feel like we're finally running out of places where shit will hit the fan. And there will be a time very soon where I wake up in the morning and I don't have a stream of bugs in the bug chat. Like even now, if you look at Discord in the morning, this morning there was a bug report for strategic restructuring. Allows you, there's a way to like game the system and make it do something it's not supposed to do. But I already have that on my list and I'm fixing it. So if I wake up in the morning and it's a few bugs, let's say 3, and they're all things that I'm already fixing for Monday's update, that's no additional work for me. Like that's amazing. And that means when I sit down today to work, until you guys report like the server's crashing or the game isn't working, I don't have to freak out about fixing that. Instead, I can say, okay, I'm going to work on finishing cybernetic augments, or I'm going to work on adding this new ability, or I'm going to work on adding 10 new cards today. And the closer we get to that moment, the more of those days that we'll have. And there will eventually become a day where the base card set is in, and all Steve and I and Kevin's job will be play 2 games a day and take notes on cards that you think are too powerful and write down feedback that players report of OP cards. And then instead of huge bug fix patches every Monday, it will just be huge balance patches every Monday.
Plus new stuff.
And then there becomes another magical day where the game is pretty balanced and the game is pretty bug free. And all Steve and I have to do when we wake up in the morning is work on the new expansion that comes out in 3 months and play the game. And like, how cool would it be if, let's say I still have, my day job that I work now, and I get off work and I come home, and instead of freaking out about rewriting Invader's interrupt code, I just come home, I get on Discord, I challenge a bunch of people to play games, and I ask you guys like, oh, what kind of new cards do you want? And I just take notes, and like, that's my work. And Steve, Kevin, myself, we all get paid to play the game, take notes, suggest new cards to each other and to the community, get feedback on those new cards. And then I say, cool, here's a couple $100 for the week. Kevin, Steve, here's your $1,000 that you earned. Like, how cool would that be? That would be freaking amazing.
That is the dream.
Yeah.
Is it not?
And that's...
I would like to also...
That's programming in a nutshell, though. That's, like, as a programmer, we spend hundreds of hours trying to create things in hope that one day, and it never quite gets there, in hope that one day that thing that we created makes our life easier because we've automated so much.
The cat is terrified of your shoe. Look to your right. He doesn't know what. Sticking cats. Oh, he's gone. And he's gone. He was looking at it like, what the fuck is this? Bye. Bye, Effie.
No, Kevin, not all the magic, all the Doomtrooper.
I was thinking that too. I was trying to think of a joke. I'm like, no, not Magic the Gathering. But yes.
All right, so here's something.
Magical day, like Justin said.
So I mentioned cybernetic augments. I think I'll talk about that a little bit to end us up. So we have... Oops, my keyboard fell asleep. So we have Vince Diamond. I was talking about him to someone the other day. So under the new augment system, my plan for him is something like, and these aren't set in stone, 4 fight, 4 shoot, 4 armor, 10 value. And then you say, well, that sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
But his card ability changes to augment 3 times. So when you play him, you get a window that says choose first augment of 3. And one of the options, let's say, is +5 fight. One of the options is +5 shoot. One of the options is +5 armor. One of the options is use 2 augments to gain Slayer. And I don't know, there's probably another one. So you do that and you play him, and let's say...
Okay, so his base is lower, but then he has other cool shit that...
Yeah, and you can customize him. So let's say you...
Okay.
I don't know that this is how it's going to work. We're going to do balance and stuff on it. But let's say that those are the numbers we choose and those are the abilities we choose. And you choose 3 fight augments. So he is now 20 for 10. So he punches like a brick house,
But can be
but
easily
he could be
taken
easily
down.
killed.
Yeah.
Arguably still balanced, right? He can take down Cardinal Dominic, but a tiny little heretic with no buffs can kill him.
You turned him into a kamikaze.
But here's the question, and I didn't think about this as much until it was brought up to me. What happens when you give him Fragment of the True Chip?
Ooh, he 20.
Exactly.
You basically won.
Is that fair? Like, can you buff? Is that a valid strategy? Under the augment system, could you give him 20 fight, then give him Fragment of the True Chip?
That would
Now-
suck though. Like,
But
you're
here's
playing against them.
So here's the thing. Currently, and someone will probably correct me, currently that's not how it will work. Because, well, if the augments count as attachments, which they likely will, but they will be like untargetable, then this won't apply. Because it clearly says base stats. But if the augments augment his base stats, which is kind of how they originally were planned. Yeah, see, that's what Steve's saying.
So then the card does nothing. Because he's just back to being
Unless
4-4-4.
his stats stay the same as they are now, like 4-6-4 or something, then they would up to 6 and he would get a little bit of a
Yeah, but
Oh, Steve, that's true. But if that's the question though, is if augments did change your base stats, is that a valid strategy? Because it's kind of a really great synergy. Like if we made augments change the base stats and we allowed Fragment of the True Chip, it gives you more of a reason to like hold that card a little longer and wait till you get this card or something along those lines. But it's probably way too OP.
does that mean overpowering?
Overpowered.
Power. Okay.
When a card is OP, you nerf it.
I know. So I didn't even know the terms nerf and buff when we like started this whole thing.
Do you get why it's a nerf though?
because
if-
a Nerf gun is softer.
Yeah. If a guy's like this big ass, badass dude with big guns, you could convert his guns to nerfs.
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
I get it.
I don't know, but it's an interesting thing to think about, like the augmenting. So I want to work on that some more, maybe next week. But the general idea, and when, this is going to be something that we tweak. So, Chaucier will get a little bit of a stat bump, maybe 333, 222, something. He will augment one time. So you'll get the window of possible augments, and you will choose which ones you want at that point. I believe Coral Beach won't augment, but he's going to keep his Chaucier buff. Might buff, but since Vince is losing the Chaucier buff, Coral Beach might do +3 to Chaucier's to make it a little more useful. This is all open to feedback, of course. Then Vince will augment 3 times. So that's his like special thing. Like he'll just be like bam, and I can totally manipulate him, which is fun. What I want to do for Mirror Man, which I was telling Steve the other day, is Mirror Man by name. I want him to, if he's in your squad, he inherits any augment that another guy in your squad receives. So if you play Mirror Man first, and this is crazy, you play Mirror Man first, then Vince. Vince augments 3 times, and Mirror Man also gets all those augments. If you then play Chaucier, Mirror Man will also get the Chaucier augment.
Can you guys
So-
see the cat? It's ridiculous. Sorry,
So the idea is that the Mirror Man would mirror the other augments. Now maybe it's just anytime an opponent augments, Mirror Man can augment once. So maybe if Vince hits the board and augments 3 times, Mirror Man gets 1 counter and can augment once. We might have to nerf it down to that. But I like the idea of the Mirror Man mirroring the augments of his squad. And then Eradicator Death Droid, as of now, augments 1 time. But his augments are from a different pool than the rest. So if you look up Eradicator Death Droid in the Cybertronic book, he has some like really cool guns and like chainsaws and that kind of thing. So basically his augments would be those three things, whatever they are in the book, and we would pick them and they'd be more powerful and unique. So it makes him like stand out a little bit more, which would be interesting. Flamethrower, yeah, I think Flamethrower is one of them. And if we finish the Flamethrower code we're working on, so the Flamethrower will hit its target and also burn the guys to the left and the right of the target is what we're trying to build, which is why the Gehenna Puker's not in yet.
Puker?
Yeah, it's a Flamethrower. And then there is also...
Sounds like they projectile vomit on you.
So Scrap Heap. So Scrap Heap is like the icing on top of the system. So whenever a Cybertronic warrior is killed, it gains 1 scrap counter. And as one action, maybe 2, you know, we'll balance it. You can remove a counter from the Scrap Heap and augment 1 warrior in your squad. So people keep asking about synergy. If you talk about synergy,
Sorry, allergies.
what if you play Mirror Man, then you play Vince Diamond, which buffs your Mirror Man, then you have Scrap Heap out that has some counters on it, then you let those counters like rise up before you do this, then you use those counters to buff Mirror Man, and all of a sudden you have this like common low, this fits so many things that we're trying to build with Doomtrooper. You have this common warrior that everybody has and nobody uses right now. And all of a sudden there's a synergy between these 3 cards where even though you played Vince, Mirror Man is your badass. And Mirror Man is now like 15 Slayer somehow. And your opponent's just like, oh shit, I'm gonna get my ass kicked by a Mirror Man? Like, really? It's great.
See, this is why this game takes so long. Every single card is a discussion. Well, not every single card. Many of the cards are a discussion.
But
You
yeah,
know?
you have 3 actions, right? First action, play Mirror Man. Second action, you play Vince Diamond. Third action, you use the Scrap Heap to augment the Mirror Man again, and you're left with this massive guy. Of course, you gotta hope your opponent doesn't have reassignment where he sends it back to your squad. Because once it goes back to your squad, now Vince is already in play. So when you play the Mirror Man again, he's not going to receive the augments. And you already used your counter. So Mirror Man buffing with that specific synergy, in my opinion, is balanced. Because all you got to do is get him off the board, and that combo is broken. Because now you have to bring Vince back to your hand and get more counters on the Scrap Heap in order to do it again. So I'm so excited. I know Steve is excited about augments. Dizo, who's not here anymore, sound like he's dead. Dizo, who went to put his kids to bed. He loves Cybertronic. So that people keep asking like why Cybertronic isn't as strong. Like that's why. Like once they get this update, they're gonna be awesome. And yeah, I'm excited. May he rest in peace. Dizo. Also, Cybersecurity MP is getting a nerf tomorrow. Not entirely sure what, but Cybersecurity MP and Fool's Gold are both getting a slight nerf. Fool's Gold is just getting annihilated when it's played. Oh, and with the synergy, imagine, so what was it? It was Vince Diamond. Let's say you have a way to get more actions as well. You get 5 actions this turn, right?
Oh, wow.
Mirror Man, Vince Diamond, buff the Mirror Man as well through proxy. Activate Scrap Heap to update the Mirror Man again. Play Coral Beach, who gives +3 to the Mirror Man because he's considered a Chassier, then attack. Like that wins the game for you. Like that, if you could get all 4 of those cards in your hand, boom, like badass. So I think, yeah, Steve says he's very excited about Augment. So obviously the way I'm talking and I'm going over time about this, but like, I was never a big Cybertronic fan back in the 90s. But with this system, like I get goosebumps thinking about playing Cybertronic. Like I think Cybertronic is going to be the best faction. But then Steve and I will turn our sights to Imperial. So within a couple weeks, we'll do the same kind of overhaul to Imperial to fix the Clansman cards. And then my hope is that Steve and I are like, oh my god, I want to play Imperial. That's the feeling that we want to recreate. So no one is going to play anything besides Cybertronic. Yeah, for a minute. Well, we'll still have our capital people. But that's not all. There's more. So we recently added Club Arcadin, right? So
God.
at the end of your turn, all Cartel and General Warriors gain +1. So
Some ugly. Is that even Studio Parente?
I don't know. So you play Cartel Special Forces, the 2 cards, they merge together. Then you play Club Arcadin. Then we want to add I want to add a couple more Cartel cards to really get the synergy between those little guys. And there's some really cool stuff that we could do where all of a sudden people might start learning about this secret Cartel deck and start playing it. And, you know, as a reward for you guys being in the streams, like, when you click new deck, Cartel is not an option. But if you make a deck that is only Cartel in general, it does flag the deck as Cartel. Which means when we turn on faction rank, where you can level up a faction, you will be able to level up the Cartel faction. Which means there are avatars, there are card backs, there are versus screen upgrades, there are titles. Cartel has its own upgrade path. That is really the first Easter egg. Like I said, you guys know I like to add Easter eggs to the game. This was the first one, and it's not very secret. I like to let you
Just said it.
I like to let you guys know. But if this game, blows up a little and we get a bunch of players, they're not going to realize that that's there. So you want to show. It's like when Steve and I used to go to Inman's Bowling Alley and play Mortal Kombat, right? If you knew, or Killer Instinct, like if you knew the combo to unlock a hidden character, and you're like challenging somebody, and you show up as like the boss, like you're playing as or you're playing as Smoke in Mortal Kombat when Smoke's not a normally choosable character. You're like this, oh my god, how did he get to play as Smoke? That's awesome. I kind of wanted to like recreate that a little bit. It's like, the cheat code. So when the game starts and it slams the versus screen in, you have this custom Cartel versus screen and Cartel icon, and people are going to be like, what faction is that? It's like, that's what you get for being one of the cool kids and learning the secrets.
Wait a minute. So, like, if you have the RTX voice on, does that mean every time I do a voice, people just don't hear me?
I don't know. You have to watch the...
I don't like it. Like...
Do a voice.
Yeah. That was the Mickey Mouse laugh.
Do it again.
What does he say? In, like, they make him say weird shit.
Alright, you're boring people.
You're boring people with your 5-minute long rants.
About Doomtrooper? About the game that they're here to watch a stream about?
The other thing that you went on about.
Steve says
Okay.
Steve says only when you go really high pitched.
Nobody can hear it. That was Pinocchio saying I'm a real boy. Okay. Not okay. Not cool.
I don't think Julie understands how meters work, so you gotta let this meter get down to the bottom and then do it.
Wait.
Yeah, cut most of it out.
I don't like it. We don't even have the air conditioner on or anything.
He says sometimes it cuts out when you're both talking. It's probably when Julie likes to make funny voices.
What's the point of life if I can't... Yeah, it was the Mickey Mouse voice. We were talking about copyright and how Disney has changed copyright laws so that Mickey Mouse never goes into the, oh my god, what's it called?
These voices are copyrighted.
Exactly.
Thorgal asked if there's any new cards next week. Yes, there are new cards every week. Asterisks. But yeah,
Public domain, thank you.
I am trying to get new cards every week, and the goal is like 10 to 20 every week. The problem is I'm spending
Mouse strike.
I'm spending 16 plus hours a week, and I am working my day job. So these hours are nights and weekends, so I don't have that many.
Can I tell you guys something? This fucker works so much. We actually had a whole talk yesterday because I was like, Justin, we are not hanging out at all. So I just want you to know how much time he puts into this freaking game. I was like, we haven't done anything together except watch TV for like an hour at the end of the day because you work so much. Heads up.
So once I'm not spending 16 hours a week fixing, like, it's called code smell or code debt. Like,
Wait, what?
basically,
I've never heard that term before.
don't get me wrong, I appreciate all the work that Invader did. Like, he wrote the interrupt system, the timer system, all that shit, thousands of lines of code that I didn't have time, and I still don't have time to write. But when he left me with thousands of lines of code that I don't understand, and like 4 critical bugs that make people not want to play the game. So I'm spending these hours digging through code I don't understand in order to solve a bug that is really upsetting the players, and it's stressful. So once I don't have any more of those, which fingers crossed now, hopefully I can spend all those hours adding cards every week, and you'll be seeing like 3 pages of cards every week, which will be great. And cybernetic augments, the Imperial teamwork system, like all the stuff that we're working on.
Okay, so
Josh said, I know the feeling, the biggest time the wife and I spend together is watching Friends on Netflix. So in my defense, Julie and I watch 2 to 3 hours of television together per night.
Tuesday, Thursday, because we wrap up, you finish streaming at about 10:15, and you like...
We watch at least an hour a night, every night.
Okay.
And then
Sure.
Wednesdays and Fridays we watch quite a bit, and Saturday and Sunday nights we spend together.
We do.
So she
You're
is
just
being a
having-
little needy.
It's just like COVID issues. But yeah, that problem really hits home for us. Yes,
Oh, what's up, Kookie?
I get
That's,
it.
you know Kookie? Swapette guy.
Okay. And then Steve, have you seen the Babysitter sequel on Netflix that we haven't?
I
And
didn't think it went live already, so
because we talked about it when I think it first came into the world. Yes, we really liked the first one. We'll watch that. Yeah, we'll definitely watch that. We have been going back and rewatching Netflix's Marvel stuff. We just like fell off. There was a wonderful point where there was just so much stuff on TV that we couldn't keep up, and so we just finished Jessica Jones. We watched The Defenders, and now we're watching Punisher. And then we have another season of Daredevil.
Basically, we're skipping Iron Fist, and we're skipping Luke Cage.
Sorry.
I think Luke Cage is amazing. I think the character is amazing. I think the actor is
I
amazing.
love the actor that plays Luke Cage.
But
I was so bored though towards the end after they killed that one guy that's dressed like a pimp. I forgot his name.
yeah, they killed one of the. Don't spoil it for me.
Sorry.
But there's one of the seasons, it might have been the first one, where the main villain dies, and you still have 8 episodes left. And I was like, oh, see where they're going with this. And it's like 1 episode, 2 episodes, 3 episodes. I'm like, I am bored out of my mind.
So bad because
Like-
I love that dude that plays Luke Cage.
Yeah, I think it's the first season, Thorgal. Like, it's just like, I have so many options of great television to watch. Why would I watch something that's taking 4 hours to tell me why I'm here?
And
So-
hence why we fell off. I'm sure there was something
Yeah.
just better at the time that we got into.
But Jessica Jones is always through and through incredible.
God, I love Kristen Ritter, and she put her butt on Justin's car for a photo shoot once. So, holds a special place in my heart. Although I was also terrified because I've also been watching Breaking Bad, and there's a tragic scene with her, and I was like, oh God, I wish I had not seen that ever. Yeah.
There's
I
also,
love Kristen Ritter.
yeah, there's also, like, I think Charlie Cox, I think is his name, is the greatest Daredevil that I've ever seen live. Like, that, it's amazing. Does this work? Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
a PETA ad.
Yeah, wait, so this is my car. One of my cars.
Not the main car that we like drive every day.
Like, daily I drive a Tesla, which is funny, because this is, like, the exact opposite of a Tesla.
Europeans,
Yeah.
this car is freaking huge. Our friend from Belgium came and visited, and we were like, look at this. And she was just like, oh my God, because
So-
you can fit 3 bodies in that trunk.
This
easy.
is my car with Kristen Ritter.
Yeah. There's another one where she's sitting on it, right? There's another
Fun story. I could have gone to this photo shoot, but I didn't. A, I didn't know it was Kristen Ritter, and B, I didn't know who Kristen Ritter was at the time. So I could have gone here and seen, yeah.
It's hard. I don't know if you can see, like, his window is broken. It's not actually broken. It's just about if you see an animal in a hot car, like, get him out. There's another one where she's sitting in the car.
And then there's Julie.
Sitting on the car.
You can see how big the car is.
The trunk is just as big as the hood of that car. It's insane.
And Thorgal, I don't know, man. I think you're crazy. The second season of Daredevil was great because we got Kingpin and we got the Punisher. Like, I thought it was really good. But, you know, everyone has their opinion. And I'm really enjoying the Punisher so far. I think, what's his name from The Walking Dead? Shane from The Walking Dead has a real name, I'm sure. He does a really good French accent.
Fuck.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, I've always loved the Punisher. Punisher's always been one of my favorite storylines. Yeah, you know what's funny? Justin's given me so much shit, and I imagine a lot of people too. I actually haven't. I think I stalled in the middle of the third season of Breaking Bad because every time I turned it on, and I think Justin was like, that was the point. I was like, this show is so aggravating. Every single character on this show is a pain in my ass that I don't enjoy watching. So I stalled out. I gotta pick it back up again, but I was thinking about Defenders. That's why I gave up on Daredevil season 3. I don't mind Defenders. It was okay.
Yeah, Defenders was okay. It was okay.
I love Daredevil though.
I fingers crossed. I know a lot of people believe this. That is it Charlie Cox? That's right, right?
I think so. I don't.
Yeah, that Charlie Cox after the 2 years are up, which has to be soon. That the MCU brings him in. There's been rumors.
Yeah,
and I love these rumors.
Yeah.
That Charlie Cox will make an appearance in Spider-Man 3 as Peter Parker's lawyer, and I'm just like, yes, please, just he doesn't have to be Daredevil. Just let me know that you're letting Charlie Cox come back as Matt Murdock. I will be so excited as a fan of Charlie. So I think that would be amazing. And I think the Punisher would be a good one to bring back, and I think Christian Ritter would be back, but there's that argument is Punisher. They think the Punisher and Jessica Jones are too dark for Disney, which is totally. I could see them go Disney. I could see the mouse either way.
Sucks. That's why I like Punisher and Jessica Jones. They're both completely just don't care about.
He's friends with Tom. Huddleston.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope he makes the comeback. I think it'll be great. What's an actor you want to see join the MCU no matter which character or role? I'm going to go with the easy answer here and say Keanu Reeves. I stand by, people are saying he'd make a good Wolverine, and I'm like, I can't.
I don't like. So, Keanu Reeves is cool. He's a cool guy in real life, blah, blah, blah. I actually don't think he has a great range as an actor.
Hey, Scoot.
Unpopular opinion. I just don't think he's that good of an actor.
He doesn't need a range, though. He can be himself and be a superhero.
Come on.
Oh, Steve says Bryan Cranston is Xavier. Okay.
Okay.
Although
coming in hot. Thank you. Yeah, that's.
I would like to see. I do think that the Marvel universe can benefit, and I know they know this too, on younger characters. Because if you want like the next phase to take 12 years, and you hire somebody who's in their 50s or 60s, that's risky, it's expensive, and it will appeal less to like teenagers. And that's why they're kind of going in the Young Avengers route, I think, because they want to.
Okay. All right, Scoot. This is interesting.
And we're sticking around here talking about Marvel. I know it has nothing to do with Doomtrooper, and I apologize.
For everybody, we're over time. It's fine. We can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah.
This is interesting. So, okay, I can definitely see Clint Eastwood as an old man Logan. Clint always does a great job at having that attitude.
Well, he said Scott? Wait.
Right.
Oh, Scott.
And so I just looked up Scott, and I'm like, okay, all right.
Thorgal,
I can see
that's legit, man.
I
didn't even think about that. Clint Eastwood is Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
And then there's like a Bishop Cable time travel story that resets the timeline, and they introduce Scott as the Logan that's going to carry it forward.
Yeah, Thorgal, that's a really good one.
But then they could do time travel stories every now and then where Clint Eastwood makes an appearance. Like, that's legit. That's legit.
Norton's always good, right? I mean, he already kind of had his chance.
Pookie says Keanu would make a good Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Oh my god, that movie is so dumb, but I love the movie so much with what's his.
No, okay. So as a fan of Doomtrooper, I have to almost guarantee that everyone in this chat loves Ghost Rider. Like nothing screams 90s Satan techno horror more than Doomtrooper and Ghost Rider.
Nick Cage, yeah.
Like those two things, like if I put the Doomtrooper soundtrack behind a picture of Ghost Rider with an animated flame on his head, it'll fit perfectly. And if I put Ghost Rider on a Doomtrooper card, it'll fit perfectly. It doesn't matter. They represent 1997 more than anything else in the Marvel universe and the card game universe.
Seen so long. That was one of those movies that happened to be on like HBO a lot, and I would just like watch it all the time. Also, Elektra. First time I saw Elektra in the theater, I was like, it's stupid, the ending. But then I've seen Elektra like 10, 15 times because I just would watch it on HBO. Because I actually really liked it. Unpopular opinion.
Unrelated to the Marvel Universe, directed towards people like Thorgal, please try and break the timers and the combat UI. As much as I don't want you to break it, I want to know that these bugs are gone. And like, for instance, like what I was doing was just like F5ing, just like spamming it during a match, during interrupts, during combats, just trying to force myself to disconnect at the most inopportune time. And I was finding bugs if I F5'd when an interrupt timer had 2 seconds left. Because by the time I came back, the timer had finished, but my game hadn't updated, and maybe my game updated a split second before the timer actually finished, so things were out of sync. And like I was fixing those like left and right. So I'm gonna feel so good when I don't get any more of those bug reports, because then I can just add cards all day, every day, and we can sit around talking about Ghost Rider and Keanu Reeves forever.
I don't think I saw Halle Berry's version of Catwoman.
I did not either, so I can't chime in. But I do love Halle Berry because she's in Swordfish. And anyone who's got the balls to be in a bad hacker movie, I love.
It's just because of the titties. It's not why.
Her titties are great, but respect to anyone in hackers, sneakers, war games, Swordfish. I'm forgetting one. I don't know. All right, Steve. I can't do Danny as Wolverine.
Yeah, what?
I can't do it.
The pig.
I will. Next time I talk to him, I'll let him know that he's in the running, though.
What? Shut up.
Yeah, Thorgal connectivity is a factor. That's why I've been trying to reproduce bad connections to try to get there, and I've closed like 5 or 6 instances that would cause problems with connections.
I cannot...
Antitrust. Thank you, Buck. Antitrust is great.
I don't know that I've never seen Sneakers. Okay. Yeah. Never seen that. What about The Net? Remember that Julia Roberts movie?
No, it was Sandra Bullock.
Oh, shit. Sorry, interchangeable 90s brunette.
And to contrary to what Julie just said, I do have a connection to Danny DeVito, and I will reach out again. I try not to bother him unless I have something really good. So Danny and I worked on a project called The Blood Factory, which he used to do all the time. Let me open a window here. He used to do every Comic-Con, he would do The Blood Factory, which was short horror films. And I worked with him on a horror game that never came out because The Blood Factory kind of died off. But I really think that he still loves horror, as do I. So I want to reach out to him maybe for a horror card game. Like we could make a Blood Factory card game where his name and his brand would push it and publish it, or help us find a publisher, and then my tech would power it. And I think it would be really cool. I just reached to, like, I don't want to reach out too much.
Also, this is life in Los Angeles. Halle Berry touched me. She was dancing. We were at a Prince concert. She lost her balance, and she put both of her hands on the waist. Also, yes, Steve, that's what I was gonna say. I will murder somebody who plays Gambit without the on Cajun accent. You can't do that. You don't do it, I don't want you. Boom. And I just don't think Keanu, I just don't think Keanu could pull that off. I'm sorry. I know everybody loves him. He is who he is. Like, I don't think he has a huge range. Sorry. Not sorry. Scoot thinks he can. I guess we would just have to hear it. I feel like you gotta have that Cajun accent to play Gambit. Was it one of the live action movies with Gambit? It's all so foggy. I just didn't think it was great.
I'm down for Keanu as Gambit. I could deal with that.
So much.
Because he would play it perfectly.
Oh, have you heard Keanu do an accent?
So real quick, the Blood Factory stuff. You could see that he used to do these like awesome gore like photo booths. So you'd go underneath the table and come out the top, and it looks like your corpse is like all hanging out. Tons of like just creepy things that he would do. But it's been dead for a while. But it's prime to bring it back. And I always say it when I mention him. One of the nicest people.
He's seeing us. He's immortal.
One of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. That man. We went to his Halloween party, and I was still certain. I'm like, famous Danny DeVito. I've had dinner with him twice, and like we've had meetings together, but like he won't recognize me. And at the party with hundreds of people, he came right up to me and he was like, "Justin, so great to see you. Thanks for coming." And shook my hand. He's like, "Who are you here with?" And I introduced my sister to him. And like,
you were at his house 3 times total?
No, I was only at his house once, I think.
Wait, where was the party then?
Hollywood.
Okay.
Boarders.
Got
Boarders.
That's funny.
Yeah. So he's if you want to support somebody, if you want to support 2 people in Hollywood, by reputation, support Keanu Reeves. And by personal experience, support Danny DeVito. Those 2 people seem to be like the way to go. And maybe Ryan Reynolds, just because he's Ryan Reynolds.
God, I always loved him.
So yeah. What's up? I think we're almost done.
What's the dude? Why am I blanking out on his name? He was super nice when we met him at someone's house. Firefly? Captain of Firefly.
Oh, he was on Castle.
Love him, and
why am I forgetting his name?
Blanking out.
Nathan Fillion.
Super nice in person, you guys.
Yeah.
So nice. He like put his hand out. He's like, "Hi, I'm Nathan." I'm like, "Nice to meet you."
Yeah, I will say about Nathan, when he walks into a room,
super nice.
I guess when you're famous, you kind of have to like make a good impression. But when he walks into a room, he walks around the room and shakes hands with every person, and he says, "Hi, I'm Nathan," and you say, "I'm Julie. Julie, nice to meet you." Every single person. And when he leaves the party, Nathan Fillion does not Irish goodbye.
So
that guy walks by and says, "So great to meet you, Justin. I'm taking off."
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're gonna see him at like a party, he's probably, well, A, he's drunk, and B, I might have my guard up too if I was well known at a party. But we were lucky enough that we knew somebody who was friends with him. It's really weird to live in LA, you guys. It's
yeah,
great.
I mean, FYI, so I was in a band, a pop punk band, and the drummer of the pop punk band is married to an actress. The actress was on the last 2 seasons of Castle. She was like the female lead. So she knew Nathan because they worked together, and we went to their like housewarming party. So it's like just weird random connection.
Oh, a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Like I met Danny DeVito because a guy I worked with at Obsidian was friends with this guy named TK, and TK worked on the Blood Factory. So Danny asked TK asked Matt, and Matt said, "Well, I know some programmers," and found me. So it's like when you live this close to Hollywood, like these people, they're literally 1 degree of Kevin Bacon away from
Wow, he was late. That sucks. That's a bummer. So I mean, I definitely hear you on why that wasn't a good experience for you. Yeah, that sucks. Felicia Day, I actually don't super like because she blackballed my friend and wouldn't let her do stuff. So another awkward moment.
Is there any celebrities I really don't like?
I don't know her personally at all. I've never met, I have been in the same room with her, but no, she really didn't like my best friend and kept her from getting work, so. I'm so sorry to be like The person behind the curtain.
You know, I'm trying to think if I've ever met anybody that, like, celebrity-wise, I was just a dick. But, like, for all the wrongs that he did, I will say that Max Landis was never a dick to me.
He wasn't mean to me.
No,
he was
he-
very mean to the same person that Felicia Day was mean to. But yeah.
Yeah, never mean to me. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up before we just sit around making what do you call it? Not a black book, a burn book. We're gonna make a celebrity burn book live on Twitch. Before we get to that point, I'm gonna wrap this up. I am going to check Discord to see if anyone's reported major bugs, and then I'm gonna add a couple cards this afternoon. And I think if Julie will allow it, I am going to try to do something in Doomtrooper that I've wanted to do for a year now. I'm going to rip out all code revolving around the versus screen, and I'm going to rewrite it. It's not very much, but if you look at the code for the versus screen, you will see my comments that say this is the worst fucking code in all of human existence. It is so bad because so many people have touched it, and they just made it work. But like,
with tape.
when you launch Doomtrooper, it stores a bunch of data, like your cards, your username, all that stuff, right? When you launch a game, the server creates a game which has a different version of your username, your account, and the cards in your deck and that kind of thing, right? The versus screen reaches into the menu to get some of that data, and then it reaches into the game to get some of that data, and then it like combines them in a weird way to display things. And it's just like, you can't guarantee that the data is up to date in both places. You can't guarantee that the data is the same in both places. It needs to just launch, get its own data, display its data, and then when it transitions into the game, it just deletes it. Like, it's just, hi, I'm the versus screen. Now I'm deleted. And that's it. And that's how every page should work. But it doesn't, and it drives me fucking bonkers. So,
That's today.
the main thing you guys will see is there's a complaint where sometimes you'll launch a game and it won't show the proper level or faction or whatever for the game. That will be fixed. It'll always show the proper, your info and the opponent's info properly. And the other big thing that you'll notice in Monday's update is, well, you won't really notice it because it's harder to notice. There's a bug where apparently your cool card back is not showing up to your opponent. They're seeing the default card back. I had no idea until somebody reported it, and I verified by testing multiplayer on my new computer. If you have your cool card back, you see it, but your opponent still sees the default one. I don't know how that happened, but I'm gonna fix it. So your opponent will see your awesome card back.
Because what's the point?
Right, what's the point?
Nobody can see how awesome you are.
So we're gonna drop into a raid, wrapping up here for my friend John. John is of one of the horror teams that worked on the Dread Collection with me. They're called Scythe Dev Team.
Oh, yeah.
He makes music live on Twitch, so we're gonna drop in, and if you guys want to see him make some music and support him a little bit, stick around. That's cool. Just tell him I said hi. I mean, I will as well. And
Thanks, Sin.
I appreciate you guys sticking around, coming back every week, hanging out in Discord, liking, subscribing, bitsing. I am going through these weird times right now where I'll wake up in the morning and I just want to just shut this whole project down because I thought I fixed these bugs and you guys still find them. But then a couple hours later, when I fix the bugs again, I'm like riding this high. It's like the highs are like up here and I'm like, I can't believe I made this. This is amazing. And then somebody will report some bug I thought I fixed is still there and I'll have this like low. So I'm like bouncing all over the place. But the one thing that like
That is true.
keeps me centered is the fact that you guys still play the game, you still hang out to support me, you still chat with me, and like that's awesome. So thank you for that. And don't forget, if you order Liquid Death, you can use code SECRETCowLevel for a 10% discount. Important to note. Corporate sponsorship, murder your thirst, and let's go see what John's doing. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday for hopefully starting to wrap up the deck builder.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out and chatting with Marvel. I guess maybe we'll touch base with Marvel again next week.
Bye, guys.
Cool. See you guys. And stick around for John.